Hey there, gang. Welcome back to the Tavern. We've got an action-packed episode on deck for you guys tonight, but first, we do need to take care of a few announcements. Above all else, a huge thank you for helping us get to 100 subscribers. We've smashed that milestone and are continuing to grow. We smashed it so hard, in fact, that we're a little behind schedule on delivering our thank you one-shot. But fear not. Summer vacation plans will not stop us. The emus are coming. So keep on sharing, smashing that like button, and if you're not, hey, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you can, consider supporting the channel over on Patreon. Starting Monday, we'll be providing early access to our upcoming videos, including the next installment of the HeckRazors journey, as well as the first session of our prequel miniseries, The Shadows of Aloria. We're currently in the midst of filming this, and it is truly fantastic, and we can't wait for you all to see it. So head over to patreon.com/Abhaile today, and jump in to support us for only $5 a month. With that, not only do you get early access to our videos before they premiere on YouTube, you'll also get artwork, stat blocks, and behind-the-scenes goofs and shenanigans from our breaks. Your Patreon membership also gets you access to our private, moderated Discord server, where you have a chance to hang out with the cast and crew, as well as other awesome fans like yourself. Plus, our Discord is your best bet if you'd like to appear as a cast member in a future project yourself. So join today. We'll even include your name as a thank you on our new episodes. In return for your support, we'd love a chance to support you. If you're an aspiring fan artist, trying to get commissions, or just share your work, we'd love to feature any fan art of the HeckRazors prominently on our channel moving forward, with links to all of your socials to help you grow as you're helping us. So send us an email or tag us on X with the hashtags Abhaile or ybit. And finally, a huge shout out to our wonderful sponsor, Impassable Creations. We've been talking about them a ton. The awesome makers of handcrafted goodies to meet all of your TTRPG gaming needs. These things are literally made by hand in Central Ohio with tons of love. Their dice bags are amazing, super durable, and full of comfy, cozy vibes. So if you're looking for an awesome bag that is sure to get comments at your next game, head on over to impassablecreations.com today. And be sure to use the code YBIT24 at checkout for 10% off your order. It helps us out a ton. And hey, that does it for announcements. So let's dive in to the legends of Abhaile. So we're back on the Island of Mea'motu here on this lightly raining nighttime beachfront here outside the cave. Jet and Scylla have just disposed of any remaining evidence from the previous encounter they had with some creatures that Shalla's friend Ira inside the Whispering Vale had called Shadowsworn. Some types of creepy crawlies from the Shadowfell that have managed to make their way into the world with the assistance of some daggers. But as you guys have completed taking care of all of that, it is probably 9, 10 o'clock at night. You've got a cave off to the this direction, and the world is your all's oyster.
All right. Tila. How many times can you turn into an animal, like, per day?
I can, like, one more time today.
We'll hold on to that for now. All right.
I think it's
I'm
one
gonna
more
go.
time.
All right. I need someone to come help me investigate these crates. I'll say Shalla and Scylla, Largo and Corvin. Stay outside the mouth of the cave and shoot anything that tries to get inside. If it looks hostile. If it doesn't look hostile, then
Anything?
Living
on that?
let me.
Hey,
He's just immediately like, wait a minute.
Hey, Margaret, I want to take a short rest while I stand guard, and then vice versa if we have time.
Assuming they take that long.
Yeah, I'm just saying, kick your feet up and relax a minute because, I did not get touched in that last encounter at all. So if you can, if they have time.
Good. Let's hold off on that for now until we're absolutely sure we're safe.
I was gonna stand guard.
I'm just saying I personally don't want to spend too much time investigating this area. Like,
Okay.
we are on a crunch.
Yeah, so you guys that are investigating crates, if you guys want to investigate crates, give me some rolls. We'll check them out and see what we can find.
Yeah. I'll ask for someone to help me out so I can get advantage. Because I have a really high bonus.
Yeah, I'm helping you out.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be the one.
You got a really high bonus, do you?
First roll of the night.
Shalla's the T-ball shortstop with the glove on their head, sitting down in the dirt playing with it because there's no ball coming that far in T-ball.
Oh god.
Well, it's like my perception is insane, but then my investigation is like.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not an intelligence-based spellcaster.
Yeah.
And one of us is.
I guess in wisdom.
Yeah.
And still, I managed to get a 5 and a 7, but with a plus 10, that is 17.
17, perfect. Okay, so there are, I think, these are roughly 4 foot by 4 foot wooden crates that have a, looks like a hinged top on it. The top is maybe 2 to 3 inches, actually probably closer to 6 inches thick. With a simple mundane padlock attached to it made out of a black iron. These are banded wooden chests or crates for support and rigidity. They're made out of a dark wood. They look like they're brand new. And there are 15 of them stacked 3 high in some places along the waterside edge of the cave.
Out of curiosity, how heavy do these things look?
I would say on a 17 investigation, you give one a jostle, and they are quite heavy.
Like, in terms of, like, actual pounds, like 50, 60 pounds each?
Oh, God.
Yeah, because I do have a plan, like, depending on what's in these crates.
We did math for this exact purpose at one point. I'm going to ballpark it and say 80 to 100 pounds each.
Alright. So I'm going to start... does the padlock look... Like, with that 17, does it look suspicious at all?
No, there's, like I said, there's 15 boxes with 15 padlocks. They all look the same. Pretty simple and mundane.
Alright. Oh, shoot. Scylla, help me find the right angle on this padlock. I'm going to attempt to use my thieves' tools.
Alright, so yeah, I'm kind of helping you out, and I cast guidance on you too, so that's an additional 1d4.
Sick. Is that so? Where do I go to find these tools? Inventory.
Otherwise, you can make me a sleight of hand check with advantage. It's,
Oh,
your
sure.
call.
Sure. I think actually way better at that.
Yeah, it's not really that it needs to be sleight of hand. It just needs to be dex and proficiency. It's kind of
It's all good. Let me roll an additional 4 on top of that.
with it.
Bottoms. That's that. Oh yeah. No, not that too. Oops. Yeah. No. What? No. Oh shoot. No. Just 1d4.
Oh, you can right click on them. I think to get rid of them.
Okay, right.
Well, there's also a minus underneath too. No, that's
Okay.
never mind. That's modifier.
I got it.
Ooh.
22 on my luck thing.
22. Yeah, not even a problem. There's like only one tumbler inside this bad boy too, and you just glitching.
I like to imagine. I just like look at that like it's just amateur. I just like Fonzie just like thump the side of it.
Yeah,
Just comes undone.
and Scylla looking at it too. You're almost. It looks like the D&D equivalent of those little like aluminum stamped metal padlocks that you'd get in like second grade with like a Lisa Frank diary or something at the book fair. You could have just probably separated it with your fingers without even trying. But yeah, opening the top of the chest inside is a thing that Jet has only seen very recently. But Scylla immediately notices it is to the brim full of shadow glass.
This could be useful.
I have an idea. Scylla, let's pop open all these.
Yep, get to it.
Do I need to? Is it safe to say with the combined efforts of the two of us, we could get all these padlocks open relatively quickly?
Absolutely. It probably wouldn't take you more than a couple minutes.
All right, just like I imagine it's split between Scylla just like smacking it with her axe and Jet like just effortlessly opening them.
Probably just breaking the lids open.
Yeah.
Heck
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Make sure to leave some of them intact. We want ultimate humiliation on their part. Okay. All right. This is gonna. All right. Now we need to. Okay. So how much pounds of shadow glass do we does it look like we got here?
Let me do some quick math real quick. 1 second.
And how much storage capacity have we got with us?
I kind of looks at my knife.
We are looking at roughly 1,800 pounds of shadow glass stored up here in this cave.
Woo!
How much of that would fit in a 20 by 20 space?
Good God.
With Scylla's help, Jet arranges like all 15 boxes on the beach to form like a small pyramid.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's totally doable, yeah.
And then he's gonna be like, all right, and then just start like he's gonna kind of just like hand off like his equipment. He does need to take something out on the way.
Okay.
And he's like, all right, okay, I'll be back in a sec. He's gonna put this knife on the sand. He's gonna vaguely touch it with his foot and just
Perfect.
and all 15 boxes just disappear, and then a few seconds later, just out onto the beach with that barrel of oil.
I don't know why, but you just really inspired me to make a homebrew of an item that's really similar to the eagle whistle, except you just have to scream the entire time you want the effect to happen.
Yeah, like he's just dazed, like with this massive drum of oil just next to me. He's like, hold on. Oh, that was a lot all at once. Okay.
I'm never gonna get used to this.
Yeah, you're telling me. Okay. All right. The rest we find, he kind of just slaps the side of the barrel. The rest we find, we burn with this.
Perfect. So yeah, you guys have 1,800 pounds plus whatever Shalla's got in the bag of holding of shadow glass.
Cool. Ransom.
Cool.
Yeah, you guys have a ton. Like, I think a literal ton at this point.
2,000 pounds?
Probably.
Pounds. I'm writing this down just in my notes. Shadow glass. All right. Scylla, do you think you could help? Are you strong enough to hold this up by yourself, or do you need?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So we're gonna get in there. We're gonna hopefully find the kid and hinder construction, so to speak.
Perfect. Let me real quick try and find a different background for us to look at. But you guys can kind of continue on. So I'll just paint the picture of the inside. So again, like a 30-foot deep cave, about 15 foot at the mouth, and roughly staying about that kind of wide all the way back. But as it reaches the end of it, it turns to the north into a 5-6 foot wide tunnel that's about 7 foot tall. The walls of it are weirdly smooth, with patches of non-shadow glass obsidian kind of baked in here and there, kind of like magma tubes, completely dark, not lit at all.
I look at the dragon, or I look at Jet and I go, you want to get some of that too?
Let's focus on finding the kid first.
Okay, and just one more extra second.
I was just being sarcastic because you just literally have a ton of this shadow glass.
Yeah.
Never know when it can come in handy.
Well, I'm gonna say we're gonna be using it.
That's why I have all mine.
Yeah. Because I get the feeling they're gonna be missing a shitload of. If a shitload of this goes missing, they're gonna miss it. And that gives us leverage. We need it.
Yeah, and I'll say for free, without even an insight check, all of you guys will kind of recognize this as interesting. This is the first significant sign that anyone on the island, aside from you all or Anna, are even aware of the existence of this substance.
Well, at the very least, I can experiment around with it later. Anyway, okay. So if we're gonna be going in this cave, we need marching order.
Yeah, and hang on just one second, guys. I'll get you over to a kind of a narrative.
I'm just thinking about what to.
Yeah, probably light source up front, me directly behind.
Yeah.
Spellcast in the middle.
I think it actually might be better if I'm a little bit ahead, just because I'm a decently good scout.
Cool.
If I see anything out of the ordinary, I'll hold up a fist. That'll be a signal to you, Scylla, to stop the rest of them.
Okay, that makes
As a
sense.
human, I do not have dark vision here. Are we able to actually see going down the way, or?
Yeah, it is pretty pitch black as soon
Yeah.
as you guys turn the corner.
Yeah, we have torches if nothing else.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't know why. That's the problem. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll bring you guys over here.
I'd say have one ready, Corvin, but don't light it just yet.
Absolutely.
So
So,
some things I don't think any of us can see in the dark.
Oh.
I can.
Really? I can as well. Oh,
Gotcha.
I didn't.
How about Vargo? You get in front of me to keep an eye on Jet, and if Jet gives a warning, you can stop us.
And then that could be sure. Because torches. I would say just form a conga line and just follow Vargo and me. Because
Yeah, just hand on shoulder, the one in front of you.
Yeah, because as much as I'd like to light up torches, that's going to attract attention if someone's on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. So these, I will say Jet and Vargo, you guys are cool to give me perception checks, and the rest of you guys can as well. They will be a disadvantage though.
I'm actually going to forgo mine and give Vargo the help action.
Oh, perfect. So Vargo, hold out a cannon if you want.
Since I have my hand on his shoulder, I'm just going to cast guidance.
Perfect.
Okay.
We're just like,
That's a D4, right?
yeah. We're just like we're putting all our eggs in the Vargo basket.
D4 to that first one, so 25.
25 is indeed.
Why?
Heck yeah. Perfect. The first thing you guys notice as you guys round the corner, it is in the main cave where the shadow glass was originally stored. It was quite humid. However, as you guys turn the corner, it is immediately no longer humid. It is a very dry heat, and it is warm. And oh, I forgot one other person, and that is a. Yep. She's bringing up the caboose. It gets very warm, and the reason I remember Tila is because she had pointed out to you guys that this is actually in an area that's pretty thermally or geothermally active. I think she had mentioned that there was a magma pool nearby that was kind of always there, and a hot spring that was rancid with sulfur that the locals kind of stayed away from.
Ooh, I remember that.
Yeah.
But as you guys are walking, it doesn't take you very long. This is an interesting... it's good that you guys are walking single file, because even though that this is a fairly wide tunnel, it wants to arc up on the sides and convex, as this tunnel is very much rounded in most places, if not a little irregular here and there. But as you make your way, it's there is with a 25 Vargo, you'll notice signs that people have been through here recently. Probably not many people, but there are a couple of tracks that look like they might be from a hand cart or something, or like a rickshaw type of thing, that come up through
probably
the.
the people mining here.
Yeah, and there's also, funnily enough, kind of right by the that poor kitty cat needs all of the attention.
It's Winchester.
Aw.
He's meowing at the window because I'm sitting outside where it's actually cool. But
Dude.
if anyone's outside, he's like, "Are you okay? You're out there."
And I'm not. But yeah, there's actually a pile right next to the as you guys first turn the corner, where the there's like several broken wheels that looks like whoever's been driving in here, it's not necessarily the most conducive place for this type of thing. But you guys kind of press onward. Jet and Vargo, will you guys roll me a survival check as we kind of make our way down the tunnel into the darkness?
Do I still blessed? Or has it been...
Well, it's guidance.
Oh, that was just guidance.
Yeah. Well, I got my hand on your shoulder. I'll go ahead and spam it.
Yeah. I'll just roll for myself. My wisdom's not that high, but let's see. Natural 1. I am
not that high.
Yeah, I don't have survival proficiency.
Yeah, it happens. Nobody does. It's
Yeah.
not necessary.
I do.
Well,
Yeah, Great.
Better
Thank you.
I get that natural wood now than
Absolutely. It's interesting and it's slow going. Number one, because you guys are trying to move your way through there. It's warm. It's warm, and the closer you get in, it stops being warm and it starts being something that Shalla can understand right now, which is just oppressive heat. Like Scylla, full-on dragon titty sweat. Like we're, but you apparently saying dragon titty sweat really got my small cylindrical home assistant excited because she went beep 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 beep.
Or did you so?
I remember that phrase.
I think that was like the sound of my FBI agent being like, "What the shit?"
Nerds are out again.
But I'd say it takes a little bit of time to get the non-dark vision troop to a point where the tunnel splits. It doesn't like it's a really weird. It's almost like it's unnatural in this one specific spot where it looks like a wall was busted down and two tunnels became one. It's hard to say if it was done with tool or with just by simple force of time and in nature, but I say unnatural because it splits in a T intersection, which I don't know that that's, I don't know. It just depends on how you want to perceive it. However,
Probably look weird.
yeah. However, I'll say Vargo. To the left of this T intersection, which would be facing further east. So we're all east of Takor Harbor right now. So this is even further east still. Not far east, just on that side, if you understand my drift. So it looks like, let me try to rephrase that. It looks like if you were to take a right-hand turn, theoretically you would be traveling in the direction of Takor Harbor. If you were to take a left-hand turn, there is even more to the unnatural. A metal wall is built into the edge of the magma tube. Floor to ceiling. It's hard to see in dark vision, even like, because dark vision is
it's like shades of gray.
exactly. It's like a grayscale situation, but it looks like it's all a metal wall with a metal door built into the middle of it. Maybe 15 feet from this T intersection to the left.
Looks like a good starting spot.
Yeah. Although, if which way leads to the harbor?
So that would be the right hand. This is to the left of that. And if you want to look at real quick, hang on just a second, guys.
That goes toward the town.
This is the town here. This is where the wall is. I know my drawing is very hard to see because of the color of my pen, but this is the wall, and this is towards town. Kind of what's going on.
When we tracked down the girl using Tila as a bloodhound, it was a building in town, right?
Yes, or at the very least that it went underground. There, she believed it went underground. It was either at the warehouse or where they were digging in town.
So based on the trajectory of the tunnel, would it lead us in that direction?
right-hand turn would, left-hand turn would be away from that, towards this door that's built into the...
I kind of turn towards Vargo. Let's secure the kid, make sure she's safe, separated from this, and we head towards the left one.
But the door's right there.
Vargo. Kids.
I'll just go
trouble.
peek real quick and catch up. I move faster than you.
Okay, we can peek through it and then we'll go right, okay?
It's a good compromise.
Fair compromise, yeah.
Alright. Okay. I'm gonna approach the door and kind of just, like, one of my ears is kind of twitching upwards, the other one going down. Just kind of try and see what I can see about it. Can I make an investigation check on this door?
Go for it, Jet.
You got it. Vargo, do you want to help me with this?
Yeah, I have proficiency with that.
Okay, fantastic. All right.
If we take a few seconds, I can guidance you as well.
Yeah. Oh, I don't need it. That's a 26.
That is 26. Heck yeah, it is. It is a solid door. There is barely any seam from the wall to the door. There are no exposed hinges. There's just a simple iron-looking pull loop kind of fixed into the... looking down, there are... while previously in this tunnel you've been able to see signs that people have been through, this one has only one set of footprints leading up to it. Holy cow. It was a motorcycle. No. The set of footprints that are leading up to it look... They're on the small side.
Like child size?
Small human. It's...
Well, adults are medium, so...
well, I would... Okay, yeah, that's a trick. I would say they don't look any larger than Shalla's or Tila's.
Okay. But there's no lock, so it can't be fixed.
Correct, it just looks like a door.
I'll kind of just, with my mage hand, just kind of like, just lightly like touch it, just like shove it.
Okay.
Prod it for a reaction.
It's definitely a, there's no reaction. It's a pull situation more than a push.
I'll very gingerly, just kind of like motioning for just everybody get back. Just we don't know what's gonna happen, so let's not be right in front of it.
Okay.
Just get back as reasonably far back as I can, like 20 feet probably, and I'm gonna attempt with Mage Hand to gingerly pull.
Okay. With very little resistance, the door begins to open and light floods out towards you. This isn't like firelight. It almost looks artificial, maybe magical in nature. So right now the door is just cracked.
Yeah, I'll kind of motion for Vargo, like get over here.
And I will say, I'll add on here, guys. As you open the door and the light begins to spill out, the wall itself and the door itself, metallic, perfectly flat, perfectly smooth, but not silver or gray or gold or some type of like metal that you would expect to see. It looks like it's got, if you're familiar with annealing, it's got this rainbow pattern to it, or rainbow coloration to it, where it's like purples and greens and blues, and it covers the entire thing. But go ahead, Jet.
No, I was just motioning over for Vargo if he wants to go take a peek.
Yeah, let's see, you investigated it, right? Did we try to determine if there's anything magical with the door yet?
It didn't come off of the investigation check as anything magical.
Can I, let me see how many spell slots I have. Yeah, can I, as I approach, use detect magic and do a Arcana check?
Yeah, you 100% can do an Arcana check. Give me that roll, sir.
Alright. Not bad.
19? All 9 schools of magic are coming from this room in a flood of... It is... The Whispering Vale in Shalla's bag looks like the furthest away star you've ever seen in comparison to what is going on in this room right now.
Yeah, so Fargo turns to look at Jet with his eyes like glowing with magic, and they get really wide, and he says, maybe we should check that room later.
Yeah, he kind of gives a smug smile to Vargo, like, but it's right there, Vargo.
There's some serious heat coming off of that room.
All right. Let's close it.
Going to close it, you inside the room can hear a sound like arcing energy or plasma. It's far away.
Okay.
It's far away. Above the table, you are not in danger.
Okay, cool. I do have evasion, but Fargo doesn't.
We just sneak a peek as we close it real quick.
Sneaking a peek through. There is a significant amount of actual heat coming out of the store as well. Not to the point where anyone's taking damage, but kind of just not enough to cause you to take damage. It's bright, and Vargo, looking at the end of the room, it's a perhaps 30-foot long room, 20-foot wide, possibly 8, 9, 10 foot tall. Floor, ceiling, walls, all made out of the same kind of multi-hued metal. Along the walls, there are a series of what may have at one point been bookshelves that look like they have begin to decay with time, like they've been down here for a long, long, long time. And at the end of the room, from ceiling to floor, is a thick with 3 C's bolt of energy that just, like a lightning bolt that isn't dissipating. And it just crackles and pulses there. And looking in the room, it's bright, but there's also weird scents in your nostril, from fresh lavender to warm salt water to sulfur to vanilla to the frigid cold smell of an icy day. While you're just taking a brief moment, you see that bolt of energy flicker and then reappear on the other side of the room, and then flicker and reappear back where it was. And overhead on the ceiling, you see a deep red glow in the form of a circle, probably as wide as that bolt, that drifts between the 2 points. When it moves to the other side of the room, it slowly drifts over, and when it moves back, it slowly drifts back.
They playing Pong here? Am I imagining this wrong?
Well, it's only one bolt of energy, but it's kind of doing what Pong does.
Okay.
Well, either way, this just screams don't.
Yeah, they've been doing some serious shit in here.
Yeah. Let's put a pin in this for now.
All right.
I mean, worst comes to worst, Vargo. If someone is in there, we can use the shadow glass as a bargaining chip. Hopefully.
Okay, let's.
Are you
I'm
are you saying that out loud, Jet?
I'll use the message spell for that.
Okay, you're using the message cantrip. I need to read something on that real quick, actually. Let me 1 second.
I mean, I spoke about it.
Oh no, I would more like I need to read something on my notes. I have
okay.
I have a frightening amount of notes for this room.
Okay.
It is
I'm not that.
Yep. In both of your heads, you hear in a response to your cantrip, "Leaving so soon?"
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Let's close the door with me, Chan. Let's
The
go.
door doesn't close.
Oh, it closes. It's just a door.
All right, let's go. Let's go,
Oh
guys.
shit.
Let's go. So, I just immediately just go up to Vargo. You heard that too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's keep going.
In all of your all's heads,
Uh-oh.
you hear a pure crystalline voice, feminine. It doesn't come from any direction, but all directions simultaneously. 14,978,351,206 cycles since the entity known as Grace Blackwell was bound to brushstroke designate Alpha 3803. 322,374 cycles since the entity known as Maya Kunai entered the site of brushstroke designate Alpha 3803 with inquiries. 09 correction 10 cycles since the entities Varlas Goreville, Scylla Charybdis, Corvin Vale, Jet of Naira, Shalla, and Tila of Mea'motu entered the site of brushstroke designate Alpha 3803. State your inquiries.
I'm looking for a kid. Do you know where they drag? Look, if it's asking.
Utterly unnerved and the axe is up.
Are we gonna? I turned to Vargo. Are we gonna say no to this? Like, what are we gonna do? I'm at a loss.
Ask him
Can
to repeat himself 3 times.
yeah, is there a can we try to in character comprehend what's going on here?
Absolutely. Roll me a
If we have any idea or not.
Yeah.
We gotta figure out what brushstroke is, because we answered it 10 days ago. So Maya answered it before, and someone else answered it a long time before.
Yeah, I am just.
I will say
That's a
in
fine brushstroke.
insight or arcana or
Wow.
or history. I think all three of those are viable options.
Okay.
15.
What were the 3?
You said 30?
Sorry, I was. No, I said what are the 3? I was walking back to the computer.
Oh, I got you. Heck yeah. Jet with a 26. That's awesome. Vargo. God dang it. Sorry. With a 19.
Oh, no, that's
What
okay.
are the
That was
3
my
things
one,
that we need
yeah.
to roll?
That was the investigation check.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So you can do or insight, arcana, or history. Sorry. Yeah.
That's fine. It's a 15 for me.
Cool.
No Arcana.
27.
Hey!
I know where the
27. Heck yeah.
Thank God.
I'm looking for mine now.
I'll roll eventually.
Oh, you're good, Shalla.
You said history, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, history is an option as well, sir.
That'll be good for me.
Not bad, actually. Yeah. Although the DC on the history and the insight side of this thing was significant. Fargo with a 27. You know for a fact The one of the main purposes of the Infinium is the studying of the arcane weave of Abhaile, and the arcane weave of Abhaile is greatly, mostly referred to by the denizens of the world that know as brushstrokes of the. That's the closest thing you're going to find in world to a ley line. Is kind of the commonly referred to term for the ley lines, the brushstrokes. It's kind of weird though. With an insight check, ley lines crisscross the world, and kind of like a grid does over a map. But what she's talking about is like a specific place, but they're, like I said, ley lines travel the whole world. How can they be a specific place, right? So there's something going on here. And then the stuff that she's talking about is weird too, because you guys, this cycle is some unit that is unfamiliar to you all. It's absolutely befuddling. But it does appear that whatever this thing is, that Maya has been here as well in the past.
And who was the other name? Would that have been a history check to get that one?
The first name, I'll just tell you what it was because it was a lot of words that I said there, was Grace Blackwell was the first name.
Was that the old lady whose sword we got?
No, that was Nalani Rowe. That was her name. This the first name is a name that you guys are not familiar with.
Huh. So, can you see us?
It's a good use of your question.
It is a complicated answer, and do not feel that you are limited by one question each. That is fallacy.
Regardless,
I am aware of your presence, if that helps.
Are you aware of the presence of anyone in these tunnels?
Unfortunately, my influence is extraordinarily limited by my circumstance. I can see only slightly further than the confines of brushstroke designate Alpha 3803.
May I ask you, where is brushstroke Alpha designate 3803?
It is within the chamber.
You
That
said
big
earlier
lightning thing moving around.
Indeed.
You said earlier that we had entered the brushstroke. Where did we enter the brushstroke?
I think it might have been the door.
It's merely the area of influence that my perception carries out to.
But it said we entered 10 days ago.
Correction. Lord Vale, you entered 10 cycles ago at the time of my statement. At this point now, it is 21 cycles.
It might be.
Can we do some quick math and figure out how long ago that first name was here?
Might I ask you, who was the first person that entered your cycle? You said her name was Grace.
That is affirmative. Her name is Grace Blackwell. She is, roll me a persuasion check.
Alright, we got a +6.
He's giving me 2001 Space Odyssey vibes.
10, perfectly acceptable.
How? I can't let you do that, Dave. Ooh, I should say that to David more. I can't let you do that, Dave.
Anyway,
I
go
gotcha.
on, sorry.
The entity known as Grace Blackwell is me.
Oh.
What?
Wait, are you stuck? Are you
a
stuck in that
person
rift?
Stuck in this rift? Exactly.
Are you stuck?
The entity known as Grace Blackwell entered the site of brushstroke designate Alpha 3803 with the original intent of measuring terrestrial gravitational anomalies coinciding with the passing of orbital body 02 and any lasting effects on terrestrial brushstrokes. Some lasting effects were unfortunately recorded.
Tell us these unfortunate results. Please.
The entity known as Grace Blackwell has been bound in this location since the moment that she entered.
Ah. Is there a way to undo it?
Hang on just one second, I gotta look through this lore document here.
It's computing. Thank you.
Yeah, no, yeah, 100%.
It's got the little, it's got the rainbow swirl.
Process.
Yeah, right. Ba-dum-bum-bum.
Worry, not fine.
While untested, there is a possibility, while slight, that terminating the entity known as Grace Blackwell would sever the terrestrial link of brushstroke designate Alpha 3803 and thus end its gravitational effects on the brushstroke. And
So
I ask, do you want us to do that? You say you are Grace Blackwell. Is that what Grace Blackwell wants? Is for this to be over, for her to be relieved or terminated?
the entity known as Grace Blackwell has been trapped in the brushstroke designate Alpha 3803 for billions of cycles.
So I'm not hearing a yes or no.
Wait,
Was
this?
it
I wonder if she even knows she's stuck in there.
was this part of her plan to assimilate?
Negative. This was an unfortunate side effect.
Is this the only location you're in? As we understand it, this should be connected to other areas all over the world, shouldn't it?
Indeed, the brushstroke designate Alpha 3803 is in fact connected to Abhaile in general in this location. The brushstroke designate Alpha 3803 is the only of such brushstrokes to be bound terrestrially, thanks largely in part to the graviturgical magics used and employed by the entity known as Grace Blackwell.
So her own magic is keeping her bound to this place.
It's also keeping the waypoint pretty much bound.
So basically,
We want to get rid of that, and that may be the cause of the black stuff being all over the island as well. I think we just found out that we need to kill Grace Blackwell in this curse.
well,
It is, if I can elaborate, it is difficult for me to sometimes convey my intentions and thoughts with other beings, as the entity known as Grace Blackwell has been connected to the brushstrokes of Abhaile for billions of cycles, and billions of pieces of information come into my brain every moment. Hold on just one second.
Hey, look who's bragging now.
You spoke of black substance on this island. You are speaking, of course, of the Shadowfell influence.
And I pull out the shadow glass sword that I had. This stuff. And I hold up this short sword, hilt in my hand, other palm up against the flat of the blade, holding it diagonally for it to be able to take a bit longer.
Indeed. 322,380 cycles ago, the entity known as Maya came to the site of Brushstroke, designate Alpha 3803, and inquired of the entity known as Grace Blackwell the means to elevate her people. The entity known as Grace Blackwell provided scientifically accurate advice as one answers a hypothetical. The answers provided may have lacked the ethical and moral scruples that an entity not bound by these circumstances would have employed or sought guidance from.
So unintentionally you steered her in the wrong direction. I guess that's...
The entity known as... Go ahead.
It could be that it's, it's information that is given, and how you use it is how it goes. I don't think she was steered in the wrong direction. I just think that she is trying to get her means met by any means necessary, get to her ends by any means necessary. I think she full well knew what she was doing.
The entity known as Maya Kunai was made aware of the primal magics that were woven to create and maintain the canvas. It was determined that portals connecting directly to the Shadowfell would eventually come to a natural conclusion, being closed off and rendered inert by these primal magics. The eskers created as a result of this process would distill into a unique and coveted reagent and crafting material, capable of quickly elevating the people of the Mo'anwi Islands to rival the other surrounding interests. Such as the weapon that you have in your hands, this postulate provided for near instantaneous growth with the material cost of only one island sacrificed.
What? One island sacrifice?
What?
What? Wait, what are you talking about?
Wait, so are people on other islands doing this?
That would be a negative.
So they plan on sacrificing this island.
Okay, I have to take a step back for just one moment. 4,299,920 cycles ago, an entity known as the Archmage Coalescence activated a tunnel to interplanar space, which caused an unmitigated accidental overflow and feedback loop, resulting in a momentary overlapping of known dimensional planes with this prime plane. The extra-dimensional plane, known as Shadowfell, returned to its original location with a deviation of 0.003 degrees, causing conditional overlap in 3 locations across Abhaile, one of which being located on the island, hosting Brushstroke designate Alpha 3803. This anomalous repositioning error was exploited by the entity known as Maya Kunai for the purposes of generating and creating shadow glass.
Huh.
Okay, so she's sacrificing the island to make shadow glass.
That
Is
is
that correct?
indeed. It became immediately obvious to the entity known as Grace Blackwell that these inquiries were more than hypothetical. This was unfortunately beyond all control.
It doesn't really sound like you... It sounds like you kind of just have to give information to anybody who asks. So, it's not exactly your fault.
I have been
Then
trapped in
take-
this location for billions of cycles. I simply greet company like I would an old friend.
Where are you from original?
My old
Yeah.
friend. My old friend, might I ask you a question?
The entity known as Grace Blackwell was the weaver of the Fifth at a time when the city-state of Aloria was at its prominence. And then towards you, Corvin, but everyone still hears this. It's so weird when she's in your head talking, you can almost feel her looking at you. And you can almost feel when she's looking at someone else. The entity known as Maya Kunai is a gifted and powerful sorceress, but she is just as vulnerable to harm as any one of you. Again, there is a slight possibility that terminating the entity known as Grace Blackwell would sever the terrestrial link of brushstroke designate Alpha 3803 and thus end its graviturgical effect on extraplanar orbital body designate Shadowfell. Calculating. Processing. Unfortunately, this would only affect the alignment of Shadowfell by 0.001 degrees. My calculations indicate, however, that this will separate the Shadowfell from immediately influencing Island designate Mea'motu any further. This will also allow the entity known as Grace Blackwell to rest after billions of cycles.
What do we need to do?
Processing. The entity known as Grace Blackwell is mostly gone. Not much remains, functionally immortal, but vulnerable. Any significant discharge of arcane energy should create a feedback loop which severs the connection for brushstroke designate Alpha 3803.
That explodey stuff you got doesn't make arcane energy by any chance, does it, Jet?
By what?
Your barrels of explosives.
I
Is that
do.
just normal explosive energy?
I kind of just generate an Eldritch Blast in my hand.
Hey guys, forget I can do blasting damage. I can do a blasting arrow too.
Yeah, I mean, we could try. I don't know if anything that we can produce will be powerful enough, though.
You don't know.
There are 3 amongst you with sufficient power to generate an arcane feedback resonance.
How about a lightning bolt from Shalla?
A lightning
Maybe
bolt
she could.
would do appropriately.
What else would this do? Any effects we've overlooked?
Sounds like it's going to weaken Maya and reshift the plane back. It's off by 0.3. There's a coincidence that there are 3 points on the island. We need to ask her where the island is and where the other 3 points are before anything. Get those marked and then get those taken care of. That should get Shadowfell out of loop with us, get things back to normal, and save the island.
Correction and elaboration. The Shadowfell is overlapping with the prime material plane in 3 separate locations across the entire of Abhaile.
That's just on the island.
Correct. There is only one overlap on the island. Terminating the entity known as Grace Blackwell will presumably sever the brushstroke from...
How powerful does it... Oh, sorry.
Oh, she kind of just trails as you start talking.
How powerful does the arcane discharge need to be? Like specifically, because I turn towards Shalla and say, "Nope, am I still there?"
Yeah, you are. She's processing. Are you familiar with a third heightened spell? Anything greater than a third heightened spell should be sufficient.
And if we go into this room, we're not gonna get trapped, right?
You will not be trapped. However, the entity known as Grace Blackwell does apologize for any side effects of her condition. Upon entering the room, prolonged exposure can lead to immolation. This is unfortunately beyond all control.
Okay, so we kick open the door, we have Shalla throw up her storm presence and cast lightning bolt on the damn thing while we're all outside of the room. Bob's your uncle, and we're off to kill Maya, cutting off her power supply to this island.
Bob is not the uncle of any entity present. However, that is an accurate summation.
Shalla, are you ready?
Of course.
Okay.
And if you are absolutely wanting to do this, you don't have to roll anything. If you just want to, just tick it off and let me know. And
Hold on a second. Before she does this, I have a couple more questions, if I may.
okay, go for it.
A, where are the other points on the island, or on Abhaile? Do you know where they are?
Indeed, yes, I do. They are.
I'm going to pull out a map and try and have her. Like, can she in her mind point to like where they would be on the map?
Yeah. So you would have a map prepared by the Onstrian Novanarchy. The map that you would have, Corvin, would. Let me try and do some.
Quite detailed.
Yeah, I'll do some mental gymnastics here. There is a dot that appears 3 feet to your down and to the right of you holding the map.
Okay, so it's off of my map.
And then there is another one that is probably 2 feet right of that mark. And then another mark that would be on the far edge of your page.
So I'm getting an idea. Like, I can kind of figure out the one that's on the far edge of my page is the one that I'm at, correct?
Correct, yes. The other two are beyond Onstria's mapping as of right now.
So that would at least give me an idea. Okay, it's past here, it's past here. I'm trying to bring any information that I can back.
Oh yeah, totally don't blame you.
Second question. Destroying you, will that have an adverse effect to anyone? Do you know where the child is that we're looking for? Because that's what we're trying to find. And before we destroy you, we want to be sure we're not going to accidentally throw this kid.
Of course. The entity known as Grace Blackwell is aware of the location of 14 island children who have been kidnapped from their homes. They are being held.
What?
That is.
Wait,
Let her finish. 14. Yes. Let her finish.
That's affirmative. There are 14 children that have been taken by Maya. They are being kept below the estate that she lives in. Access to that location can be gained by taking the tunnel that goes directly behind you towards town.
That
Jet-
was the last question.
Jet is like gritting both his hands. It's just absolute fury, just like that bitch.
Yes. To my knowledge, they are all alive and well and have been taken care of.
And just also kidnapped.
Yes.
I actually do have a couple more questions. I take out one of the daggers, one of the ones that we found with the 3, and I say, "What do you know of these items?" I show her the dagger.
The dagger is a mundane item that was enchanted with a stone of anchoring tied to a specific entity in the orbital extraplanar body, designate Shadowfell.
So then, so it was tied to one specific creature. Now that creature is dead, it's just a dagger. Would you agree to that?
That is affirmative, and not a very serviceable dagger with the level of corrosion and damage to the lattice inside the metallic structure.
Absolutely not. No, so I just wanted to be sure of that. And then, Grace, what do you want how do you want your story to be told? Since you're going, not many people have a chance to say their last words, what would you like your last words to be?
That's a good ass question. Give me a tiny second. So I want to make something cool for this.
Sorry, I'm just kind of playing into this now. I'm having fun.
Oh, dude, I don't mind at all. I'm a big fan of Grace Blackwell. I don't know that I would like to be remembered. The entity known as Grace Blackwell entered this site and was humiliated by her own incompetence. And thanks to that, the entity known as Grace Blackwell was not present to prevent certain things from taking place. The entity known as Grace Blackwell feels tremendous shame and gets no respite from it.
You couldn't have known.
Let the entity known as Grace Blackwell know that the information she provided us today will give us the ability to right her wrong and honor her sacrifice.
The entity known as Grace Blackwell appreciates your kindness.
Okay, when we get these 14 kids back, if they don't have parents and we gotta put them in an orphanage, it's gonna be the Grace Blackwell orphanage. Let's go. I am freaking motivated. Let's go kill this bitch.
Oh, she's yeah. I lost any sympathy I had left for that bitch. She kidnapped I thought it was one kid, but it's like
no,
like
yeah,
14
apparently it's 14 kids.
She was not under any other influence. She was doing this of her own volition. The bitch needs to die. I look over at Scylla and I say, sharpen your axe, baby. We got a head to chop off.
That's.
Fargo, were you trying to say something? Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, before we release the entity formerly known as Grace Blackwell, do you guys mind if I take a second? And I feel like this is really someone my boss would want to talk to. If they could maybe get here quick. I don't know how the rest of you feel about taking a couple minutes here.
I mean, if I take a short rest, I could get my shots back, so I'd be fine with that.
If we spend a whole hour down here, that gives a lot of chance for someone to come. Like, those guys outside, we don't know if they were supposed to be checking in with someone.
Yeah, I didn't mean a whole short rest. I just meant to send message and see if they're wanting to come or not.
I'm fine with I'm fine with a few minutes. Just we shouldn't be down here any longer than we need to.
Yeah.
How long have we been down here talking to?
Not very long. A couple minutes. Like maybe 15, 30 tops.
I mean, we were kind of resting during that. We weren't doing anything to talk.
Yeah.
Regardless. I mean, Vargo, if you want to... I mean, I get a few minutes wouldn't hurt. Just, I would say let's not take more than 10 more minutes, because again, like, I really don't relish the idea of having to fight down here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can do whatever you want to.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm just going to send a message quick. Gosh, what do I'm just going to count these and
Oh, you're fine.
go on with it.
All it needs is a
once-
spell and your boss pops up. Give her the coordinates of the island, tell her come quick, have her come in, she can talk to Grace Blackwell herself. Then once she's gotten all the information out of her, she can cast a third level spell.
Actually, yeah, that actually might be better. Like, is she able to cast that level of magic, Fargo?
Certainly hope so.
And I'd say our business is mostly complete.
What
So if
was
you wanna-
the name of that mage who initially caused this issue?
She referred to her as Archmage Coalescence.
I got a question. Did we figure out why Maya's converting everything to shadow glass? Or do we just know that she's doing it?
she's doing it to raise the status of her of the island, and
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you think is going to happen, but really it's going to be an island sacrifice that is going to sacrifice the island
Yeah,
and allow the Shadowfell to come in closer.
yeah, money. That's really what it comes down to. They had something cool that
Yep.
Onstria wanted really bad, and they were willing to pay a shit ton of money for a lot of it.
oh, is that right? And it's looking like a lot of their supply was on that beach.
Well, a lot of it's
Oh,
gone
dear.
now.
Yeah, a lot of it is gone.
Yeah.
How horrible. How horrible for her. But yeah, Vargo, if you want to just call him up, tell him to finish business out here, we can make headway towards.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pull out my sending stone and say, discovered entity trapped in leyline, Grace Blackwell, said Archmage coalesce, celestial event caused Shadowfell overlap, 3 spots on Abhaile need to be destroyed, come discuss.
Interestingly enough, you feel the spell and the enchantment lock into place, and then the nearest I can say is it feels like it is just dissolved. In the presence of this much energy, it is unable to get out a signal.
Sounds like you got to step out of the room.
Yeah, I would.
Hey, well, is that gonna,
That,
did that use up my...
it did. It used them. I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. I mean, I guess if we're gonna run into Maya, we kinda need to do this before we go after the kids, right?
Yeah.
We need to weaken Maya. And
All right.
I have a feeling that destroying this is going to...
What's the
Hold on, I have another question.
um,
Might be able to help us out.
I-
It might be able to help us out.
Go for it, man.
Is the entity known as Grace Blackwell able to transfer her presence or her mental state into perhaps one of these daggers or anything that we have on us where we can access her information? Pretty much I'm asking if we can back her up.
doesn't she want to die?
The entity known as Grace Blackwell would prefer to not spend eternity trapped, but fortunately the entity is unable to exert her presence beyond the confines of this room.
Okay. Thank you.
What's your exact position in that room?
I can be anywhere you need me to.
I need you to in about. Do you understand the concept of seconds?
Yes.
Okay, in about 6 seconds, I'm gonna need you to be in front of this door. Shalla, you ready?
Yes.
All right. And I'm gonna.
So, are we casting the 3rd level spell?
Yep. At the.
Oh,
gonna-
that one didn't go through. That's right.
Yep. The.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna-
you don't really need to. I mean, if you want to roll it, Shalla, you totally can, but you don't really need
Yeah.
to.
I'll
This
make
is
a.
more of a spirit of the moment type of thing.
I'll use the mage hand to open the door to give her a clean shot.
Perfect. Yeah, Shalla, do you go ahead?
Blast.
Yeah, basically just a nice little call lightning to one little, I guess, point where
Perfect. As the
that is.
as the bolt of lightning arcs through the air, with the door now open, a heat mirage pours out and the lightning pierces through like pea soup almost, striking the pillar of light dead even in the side. There is a silent explosion of force that rattles the room but doesn't seem to cause any damage. And with that actually as well, you guys are gonna take everybody takes 3 force damage as this invisible force blasts you from within the room. And slowly, it feels like it's slowly, but it really is just a matter of moments. The plasma loses its strength, and ahead of you, you see an elven female. Long black hair, very thin and gaunt, wearing green, long flowing dress with gold accents and epaulets and armored segments here and there. And she collapses to the floor, dead. After almost 2,500 years. I will say, as that blast hits every one of you guys, this is going to be slightly annoying, but only slightly. Every magical item that you are attuned to, except for the Whispering Vale, is unattuned but undamaged.
Oh,
Cool.
Now we're definitely short rest.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now we don't really have a choice.
Interestingly as well, Shalla, and I'll have to add this item to your inventory at some point, but the robe that you are wearing, presumably still wearing, that you guys were not able to attune to, now having been reset, can be attuned.
Okay.
Nice.
And what that'll do is give you the permanent effects of mage armor, basically, and
Nice.
a little bit of a bonus to your saving throw. It was above the table. It was locked to an alignment that none of you guys matched, and it could only be
it's,
yeah.
yeah.
Sure
I know
did.
what it is. All right.
What
the
happens
room-
to my tattoo? Does it just pop off and turn into a needle again?
That also good looking out. That is also unaffected as the veil. It's fine.
Okay. Wanted to be sure.
All right.
I was gonna say, if that turns out back into a needle, I've never got a chance to use it. But
Does the room look safe now that the energy's kind of been displaced?
If you will leave the door open for the duration, the heat will have a chance to vacate the room. It's warm, but safe.
Okay. I guess let's hole up in here for a bit, you know.
It's almost like the DM put it here on purpose.
Let's get a short rest. Let's rest up, and then we're busting out them kids.
Absolutely. And guys, we're going to go ahead and call it here for the night as we begin our short rest here in the magma tubes on the island of Mea'motu. It's been a pleasure, and we hope you all have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.